step into a world where the forces of witchcraft clashed with the rigid Puritan beliefs of the 1600s. In The View from Gallows Hill by Nick Stead, set against the infamous Pendle witch trials of 1612, this mesmerising tale draws you deep into the heart of Pendle, Lancashire, a place where vengeance and redemption are as potent as the dark sorcery feared by many. At the centre of this powerful story is Old Demdike, a figure shrouded in mystery and driven by a burning need for retribution. She has seen the horrors inflicted on those accused of witchcraft, and she yearns to see justice done. But more than anything, she wants to protect her grandchildren, guiding them not towards the malevolent magic the Puritans fear, but towards the healing arts of the cunning folk. Opposing her is Richard Baldwin, a man consumed by the desire to rid Pendle of what he sees as the corrupting influence of witchcraft. His righteous mission to drive out dark magic brings him face to face with Old Demdike and her family, setting the stage for a dramatic confrontation that could determine the fate of both the mortal and supernatural realms. But as these two forces collide, darker schemes are at work, leading all involved towards an inevitable and grim fate at Gallows. Can Old Demdike's cunning and strength save her family from the forces of evil and injustice, or will the weight of the accusations pull them under? In The View from Gallows Hill, Nick Stead masterfully weaves together themes of revenge, power, and the fine line between good and evil. If you're drawn to historical fiction with a supernatural edge, this is a book that will leave you questioning where the true darkness lies. Nick Stead, the author behind The View from Gallows Hill, is no stranger to weaving dark and supernatural tales. His journey as a writer began at the age of 15 when he started working on Hybrid, the first in his acclaimed werewolf horror series. Born and raised in Huddersfield, Yorkshire, Nick's fascination with horror, particularly werewolves, has been a lifelong passion. Hybrid was first drafted during Nick's GCSE years, and over time it evolved from a short story into a full-length novel. Despite balancing his varied studies in animal management, IT and web design, Nick never gave up on his dream of being published. His perseverance paid off when Hybrid found a home with Wild Wolf Publishing in 2015, marking the beginning of a new chapter in his writing career. In addition to his love of horror, Nick also enjoys fantasy and sci-fi, and he's an avid fan of live-action role-playing, which has inspired future writing projects, including a dark fantasy novel. A proud member of Huddersfield Orphan Circle, Nick has continued to hone his craft and is now an established voice in the world of supernatural horror. At home in Huddersfield with his two cats and plans to add a Tamascan dog to the family, Nick's imagination knows no bounds. With a deep connection to his Yorkshire roots and a love for the macabre, Nick Stead brings an authenticity and depth to his stories that horror fans will appreciate. The View from Gallows Hill draws heavily on the true history of the Pendle witch trials of 1612, one of the most infamous witch trials in English history. The central figure, Old Demdike, is based on Elizabeth Southerns, a real woman accused of witchcraft. Known as Old Demdike, she was the matriarch of a family living in Pendle, Lancashire, and was reputed to have practiced witchcraft for decades. Elizabeth Southerns was arrested alongside her daughter Elizabeth Device and her grandchildren James and Alison Device. The family, known as Cunning Folk, were healers who practiced folk magic, which eventually led to suspicions of witchcraft. Alison Device in particular was accused of causing harm to a local peddler through sorcery, sparking the chain of events that led to the infamous trials. On the opposing side was Richard Baldwin, a local landowner who played a role in bringing accusations against the family. In reality, Baldwin was not a central figure in the trials, but many of the accusations came from members of the community driven by fear and religious fervour. Old Demdike was imprisoned in Lancashire Castle along with other accused witches, including members of the rival Chattox family. She died in prison before she could be tried, but her family, along with the others, faced a grim fate. 10 of the accused, including Demdike's daughter Elizabeth Device and her grandchildren, were also found guilty of witchcraft and hanged at Gallows Hill in August 1612. Pendle Witch Trials stand out in history for the number of people accused and executed, as well as the role of the testimony from family members. The trials reflect the intense fear of witchcraft and superstition that gripped 17th century England, as well as the harsh punishments meted out to those accused. The View from Gallows Hill not only reimagines these historical events, but also delves into the human emotions behind them: fear, betrayal, and the desire for power and control over fate. In The View from Gallows Hill, Nick Stead masterfully paints those accused of witchcraft as the true victims of the Pendle Witch Trials, a perspective that aligns with what modern historians now understand about these tragic events. Through the character of Old Demdike, Stead shows how fear, superstition, and the strict puritanical beliefs of the time cast a shadow over anyone suspected of being different or practicing the old ways of healing and folk magic. Rather than portraying the accused as villains or dangerous sorcerers, Nick delves into the human side of the story, the desperation, the need for survival, and the love for family that drove many of these individuals. These people were often vulnerable members of society, older women, healers, and outcasts who became scapegoats for the community's fear. These trials, stalked by paranoia and religious fear, condemned these women to an unjust fate. Stead's narrative makes it clear that they were not witches or servants of dark forces, but rather ordinary people caught in a web of accusations that they could not escape. By emphasising the humanity of characters like Old Demdike and her family, Stead reflects the truth that these individuals were victims of a society gripped by fear and hysteria, something history has now confirmed. Nick Stead's The View from Gallows Hill is a valuable and much needed addition to the rich lore surrounding the Pendle Witches and the history of Lancashire. Whilst earlier works like Mist Over Pendle by Robert Neal and The Lancashire Witches by William Harrison Ainsworth have become classics, they have often been criticised for romanticising or sensationalising the events of the Pendle Witch Trials without fully delving into the human cost and emotional depth of the accused. What Nick brings to the table is a more nuanced and empathetic portrayal of these individuals, characters who are not just caught in a dramatic historical moment, but who are complex, multidimensional figures. Old Demdike and her family, for example, are shown as victims of societal fear and suspicion rather than merely as villains or practitioners of dark arts. This more modern perspective gives voices to those who were often marginalised or misunderstood in history. Nick's story provides readers with a deeper connection to the emotional stakes of the trial, something earlier works have been criticised for lacking. His portrayal is grounded in a more compassionate view of the accused, shedding light on their struggles and resilience in the face of persecution. This is especially important in modern retellings of history, where the focus is shifting towards understanding the victims, not just the spectacle of the trials. By adding this level of emotional truth and historical insight, The View from Gallows Hill fills in the gaps that other novels have left open, offering a fresh and much needed perspective on a tragic chapter in Lancashire's past. It's been an incredible journey through The View from Gallows Hill, and I feel like this book has truly added something special to the story of the Pendle Witches. Your portrayal of these characters as real, complex individuals has given a fresh perspective to such a well-known part of Lancashire's history. It's an honour to meet you, Nick, and I'd love if you could sign my copy as a person who's received this amazing book.
I'd be happy. What name do you want to sign it to?
Paul.
Always.
Thank you.
Well, I'm really glad you enjoyed it.
I'm really looking forward to seeing what comes next year, especially with you down supernatural and historical things. Thank you for bringing these stories to life with such emotional depth.
Thank you, Paul. Great to meet you. Cheers.
See you later.
See you later.
The View from Gallows Hill by Nick Stead is not just a captivating read, it's a powerful addition to our collection at the OYNYO bookstore here at Burnley Market Hall. With its rich historical context, gripping characters, and fresh take on the Pendle witch trials, the book is a must-read for anyone drawn to the supernatural or fascinated by Lancashire's dark past. We're thrilled to offer this outstanding novel to our readers, and it's sure to be a treasured piece for any local history or horror fan.